You're listening to Mind Over Markets, a podcast on trading psychology to help you build a bulletproof mindset. Here's your hosts, George Papazov and Mark Borscht.
This is honestly something that I've seen a lot in newer traders. It's very, very common for newer traders, and it is the scenario where you find yourself saying, I don't want to give back unrealized profits, all right? And again, this is one of those scenarios or situations where, let's say you qualify a trade, you get filled on that trade, and then it starts to move into profit right away. But let's say before you took this trade, you had a streak of losses. And I hope you guys are seeing that, you know, we're putting in these streak of losses before you're catching these trades.
Right.
For that reason, right? Is because not every day is going to start with, I mean, I wish every single one of my days started with the first trade being a winner. That's, you know.
That'd be ideal. But you know what? Then we get the God complex.
It works 60% of the time, 100% of the time. But with this one, right? So let's say that you're in a situation where, you know, maybe your first trade was a loser and you're on your second trade now and you've qualified this trade. It starts to move into profit right away. It's feeling good. And, you know, you might have a tendency to try to book those profits as soon as they show up without letting the full trade play out as planned because of your experience from the prior trade having been a loser, right? So you're worried that this is going to be, it's going to happen again, right? You got the trade. What happened last time? The last time you took the trade, it went into a loss. If you're still thinking about that loss when you're in this trade, that's what you're going to relate to. You're going to relate that loss to this trade as well. And so because you're worried and fearful that this trade is going to turn into a loss, you might cut the potential profits out on this individual trade because you don't want to give back those profits, right? Again, you're no longer managing the trade based on the individual setup. You're not managing it based on what you qualified it for. You're managing it based on your experience for the prior trades, right? Every trade is unique. Each moment in the market is unique. All right.
That's a tongue twister. That sentence is a tongue twister.
Yeah. And so each moment in the market is unique. And what that means is you should not be managing this trade based on your experience from the last trades, right? That's where you can start to manifest this P&L mindset where you're no longer trading your setups based on how you qualify them. You're trading your setups now based on your experience from what's happened. And that's a result of keeping a close eye on that P&L statement, right?
Yeah, that's like when you're going with your wife to a nice dinner, whatever, celebration, it's your birthday or an anniversary, and you're driving and you're like 5 minutes away from the restaurant.
I can't wait to hear the end of this.
And then suddenly you veer off with the car, almost going on two wheels because you almost roll the car. You stop at McDonald's. Like, I didn't want to lose your chance to get dinner, and we're running 2 minutes behind schedule. That doesn't make sense. Neither does this. So it's like if you're afraid of giving back your open profits, you were probably afraid to get in the trade to begin with. And I think this is a scarcity mindset, right? And like you mentioned, the scarcity mindset's triggered by the fact that you lost 3. So if you lose 3 and you're like, you know, I've lost 3 trades, I'm down $100, for example, and now I have $20, so I've recovered 20 of my 100. You're like, yes, I'm coming back. And you close the trade, yeah, but you took $100 worth of risk. So if you're getting paid early, you're still taking on more risk. In the long run, that's going to not work more times than it does work, and you're going to lose more money than you make, putting yourself in a deeper hole. And so, you know, unrealized profits are just that. They're unrealized, and there's still risk on the table. And if the trade was worth the risk when you put it on, the question I ask myself in these trades is it still worth the risk? Would I take this trade now at this level if I didn't get it before? And if the answer is yes, I'm not taking profit early. And we talk a lot about how do we extend our gains, right? And that's the way we do it. We just say, look, if I'm in this trade, would I get in again? And I don't think this is something, this happens to me as well. I'm going to be honest with you. Those last 2, you got me.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say that the last one, still working on, you know, it doesn't matter how long you've been trading, right? It's a constant work in progress, right?
Oh, yeah,
I liken trading to golf in the fact that you'll never truly be a master of it. I mean, every time I sit in front of the screen, even for as long as I've been doing it, I learned something new. Might not necessarily be about the markets. It could be about myself. Right. And that's what trading's been for me, is just, it's a evolution of myself.
It's a constant journey of making progress. You got to have enough energy and enough motivation to want to improve daily.
Yeah, exactly. And so I know that a lot, I still find it to this day, if this exact scenario plays out, I still kind of struggle with this as well. If I've taken three losses not simultaneously, but back to back consecutively, that fourth one is going to be somewhat of a make or break for my day, right?
Yep.
I usually, if it's my first three trades are losers, I'm probably not seeing things, or I'm not trading well. And I might give myself one more shot, but if I do catch that fourth one and it's a good trade, there's always that internal battle, that internal dialogue being like, man, if you get paid here, you're still going to be down, but you're getting paid, versus, this one looks like it's good. I think this is the one that's going to get me back to green. And it's a constant internal battle. And, to say that it just goes away at some point, we'd be lying to you. It never goes away, but you just find different ways to manage it. And like Georgie said, he identified it. I think that's the first key thing. And that's why we're telling you guys about these scenarios, is because the whole point of that is to help you guys identify it in real time, before their ugly heads stick out and kind of weigh on your psychology and weigh on your results, right? So I think it's important to, even replay this and just go through those 4 scenarios. And we've got some fixes coming up for you guys. And that's going to be the next part of this episode. What's the fix? How do I fix this P&L trading mindset? How can I avoid getting into that mindset or manifesting it in the first place? That's what we're going to talk about now. And we'll pass the mic on over to Georgie, and he's going to hook you guys up with some actionable tips and solutions here.
Before we get into that, I just realized something huge, Mark.
Uh-oh.
I really like doing this podcast with you.
Hey.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. What's the fix? I wrote this, so the fix. What's a fix? There is no the fix. We've come up with a few solutions that can help you with the challenge of watching profit and loss. All right. My first one, I'll share the first one that I think is important. I want you to accept that it's normal. You don't have any kind of condition. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a perfectly capable human being. You can accomplish your goals. You deserve to accomplish your goals. By right of being born, you deserve growth. All living things grow. All right? It's facts. It's science, bro. And so...
Bro science.
Accept that it's normal, number one. And that you've been conditioned to look at this. You've been conditioned to keep track of score and evaluate yourself based on what you see. That's not going to work for you in trading. And so that's the one thing you need to accept, is that this is normal. This is a learned behavior. And in this instance and in this industry, I could unlearn this behavior through implementing some of these other solutions as well. And more importantly, like Mark just said, knowing how to catch these things. Because if you don't know what the potential problems are, how will you know that you're experiencing a problem? I think that's the challenge with new traders. They don't know what they're looking for. Therefore, everything looks good.
Mm-hmm.
And so, accept it. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with you. That's my number one solution. Acceptance is very important.
Awesome. And you know what? I might just get you to read the second one, since I'm not too sure what you're trying to get across
come on.
here.
It's realized. All right. The second one's realized versus unrealized profits. Next. I'm kidding. I wanted to just explain to you the difference between realized and unrealized profit. All right.
Okay.
I don't think you could count. A realized profit means the trade is closed. Crystallized. No matter where the market goes from here, the amount you've made or lost, it's firm. It's done. It's put in the book because you've done the trade. You've offset it. You've made it real. Unrealized means that you have a gain, and then the market as it moves will still cause fluctuations in your trade. And so one thing we need to do is I put this down here to discuss this. Realized means your work is done. Unrealized means you're still in progress. And so for me, whenever I start to look at the P&L, like I'm looking at my eyes, looking at how many points I'm up and all that, and I have a trade opened, I'm starting to second guess things. I'm starting to get distracted. And so remember, unrealized profit is just that. It's an unrealized profit. Do not allow it to cause you emotions. Let me flip that statement. Allow it to make you feel like you still have work to do. Because if you have an unrealized profit and you're looking at it, you're like, yes, $200, sweet. Where am I going to go for dinner tonight? What could I do? You're being distracted. You're kind of looking up at the scoreboard. And if you play hockey, the scoreboard is right above you. And I think it's amazing it's there. I don't know in football why it's on both ends, because players can see the score. Hockey, it's hard to see the score. You got to be like,
Yeah, it's true.
You know? Imagine skating down the ice with the puck, breaking out of the zone. It's a fast game, and you decide to look up at the score. You're going to get your head taken off. And so if you have an unrealized profit, that's what you're doing. You're skating and trying to look at the scoreboard. You don't need to look at the scoreboard. What you need to be focusing on is managing this trade. How do I extract more profit? Am I removing risk? If you're looking at where's my profit at while the trade is open, you're getting ahead of yourself and losing mental focus. You're becoming a spectator. And if you're becoming a spectator, who the heck is driving the car?
Thanks for listening to the Mind Over Market podcast. You can find us at TradeProAcademy.com.